WTBQ and WGHT's Arrowtown being brought to you locally by Mill Spa Furniture this morning. And Taylor is here with us as always. That is you, isn't it, Taylor?
That's me.
All right, that's you. Is that Neil Sinclair?
Greetings and salutations.
And from
it's
the Mayo,
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday from the Mayo Performing Arts Center.
Ed Kirchdorfer. Look, I can do it now. You can't.
That's all right. That's why
I'm
you're
like on a
the
roll.
hired hand now.
I'm on a roll.
All right, but
our town guest is here with his brother, by the way.
oh, okay.
It's Paul Nebrasky from Nebrasky Plumbing and Heating and Michael Nebrasky. So good morning,
Ah,
guys.
very
Good morning.
You guys work together or no?
No, Michael lives in Alabama.
So I guess you don't work together. Michael, what do you do for a living?
I'm in sales in the electronics business.
Oh, okay. All right, very good.
Want to sell commercial advertising?
There you go. That's pretty
We're
good.
always looking for salespeople.
Well, listen, we enjoy when Paul gets in here because everybody.
we have a ball
One
with
thing
him.
everybody has problems with is plumbing in their house and
And
heating and cooling and all that
we're
stuff.
we're so
That's the-
busy. We're still
There
waiting.
isn't anything else of the house except that stuff.
We
That's
need
the house.
central air, but we haven't had 5 minutes to make another appointment.
Wait till
I
it
know.
gets a little hotter, Taylor.
Yeah.
You're going to be calling me.
The prices go up.
110
You
degrees.
know that.
Right. And you're going to be using, I'm on the radio show. You're on my radio show.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be on again, Paul?
Yeah.
called
Can you,
barter.
can you get here
I
first?
dated you in high school.
There you go.
Oh, this will be a Paul's Follies.
There you go.
Oh, no. I'm in trouble now.
So what you got for us today, Paul?
Oh, I wanted to talk about, we're getting to summer. We're talking about
Yeah.
summer today. So what do we got coming up? We got graduation coming up in the next 2 weeks. We got Father's Day on Sunday.
Yes.
We got barbecue season. So let's talk about getting ready for the summer and getting ready to have some people over your house. So let's just talk about a couple things. First thing I want to ask, and we get these calls all the time. Matter of fact, I just got one yesterday from my friend. Michael and I went to see the Met Yankee game last night with the whole
Oh.
family.
How was it?
We had a good time.
It was fun. It was
Right.
fun for a blowout.
First time his boys got to go to Yankee Stadium, my nephew. So I'm at the game and I get a call yesterday from one of my good friends. And I'm like, I'm at the game. What's up? He goes, I'm having a graduation party this weekend. My air conditioning's not working.
Oh, boy.
So he said to me, I know your office 3 weeks ago sent me a card out to get my air conditioning service, but we didn't listen to you. And now I got my whole family coming to stay over. Can you get somebody there tomorrow?
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, you're calling the wrong person. Call my office. And, I'm at the game right now. So first thing, let's talk about getting ready for summer. Have you get your air conditioning service? So Neil, have you had your air conditioning service?
I have not. Sorry.
All right.
I should.
Is it
I haven't.
working?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Taylor, you even have air conditioning?
I have window air conditioners,
Window? All right.
which is why I want central air, Frank.
All right. So really, I just want to talk about, let's just make sure we get our air conditioning service when you have people come over.
And that means cleaning it and changing the filter, etc.
Changing the filter is the most important
I
thing
didn't
you
do.
can do.
I didn't do mine either, so I just have to confess. I feel guilty.
Thank
All you
you,
guys
Frank.
doing. I'm
you.
with you, Neil. I'm
Father
sorry.
John, I have to
I just
confess.
sort of neglected that one.
Paul was looking at me. Did you get your air conditioning service? I'm like, no, Paul.
I'm just
no.
checking. I'm just checking. That's all right.
Did you
Not
change,
a problem.
change the
It's good.
filter? Did you
Notice
change
he
the
wouldn't
filter?
He would not even lie about
I
that.
did change the filter, by the way.
Well,
I
filter's
didn't even
good.
do
You
that.
changed it after
Yes.
our last show.
Every 3
Good.
months.
All
I
right,
change
I got to
the
do
filter.
mine. Yep.
All right, so let's go to something a little bit grosser than that. How about your septic tank? When was the last time anybody got their septic tank pumped?
Well, we're lucky. I'm on city sewer, so I'm
Oh,
good.
no, you're not.
Well, not up there. We're not.
in
yeah.
Warwick, you're not. And what I do is I have this organic stuff once a month. It's like in a packet that I flush down the toilet that has like some materials.
And
in
it's
it.
great for the pipes, right?
It really is. So what
All right.
that is you have good bacteria and bad bacteria. So the
Right.
good bacteria in your septic tank actually eats everything and breaks it down. The bad bacteria, what happens is when we put bleach and stuff, we kill that good bacteria. So that's what that's doing. That's regenerating the bacteria.
And
So
isn't
that's
that a
one.
good thing to do?
It's on my list to talk about today,
I
Taylor.
made his list.
Look at that.
Wow.
What is the general? Because we just had this last week. We had to have somebody come out because our septic was backed up.
There you go, summertime.
And they had to remove a filter, which they said is a requirement in New Jersey these days, and that they didn't feel it's necessary to have a filter in, but it's a requirement in the state. But they were saying that to pump it out every 3 years. As opposed
Today I say 3 to 5 years, depending on use and the amount of people in your house. 3 to 5 years
Oh.
is good. So 3 years is better.
It's 3 years. No, it's actually 3.5 years.
I originally had septic in the house in Jersey, and I never pumped it out. But I'm never there that much, so I wound up making 20-something years with it without ever having to pump it or anything. So,
Don't
So don't worry,
say that.
I'm in the business and I never pumped mine out. And the 2 times it overflowed, I was fishing, and Eileen called me
Ouch.
screaming both times, and
It's the same old
flooded the
story.
basement, and same thing.
Yep,
and I'm
yep.
like, so now every time I would go on a fishing trip with my son, I would get the septic pumped out first, so
man.
I could fish in peace, So but so that
We should have that checked out.
yeah, no,
actually.
definitely. Yeah.
all right, and then. Really important, Ed. Do you know where your main water shutoff is in your house? If you had to shut your water off,
I think I do.
you think?
Yes. Well, I know the shut off to the well.
All right,
Is
that's
that-
good.
is
That's
that
good.
it? Okay.
So we get the calls all the time, and I should bring the recording in one day. Oh my God, my faucet is, my pipe broke under my sink, and the water's just running everywhere. Ma'am, can you shut the faucet? Shut your main water off. And I would say 50% of our customers do not know where their main
Do
water.
you know
valve
where it is, Frank?
You know, I actually do, but I'm going to tell you something.
I don't.
My house was about 30 or
No,
so
not
years
the
old.
one in Jersey.
This is about plumbing,
But
and
we
I've
live
gone through it
here.
all. That's great. Well, I don't know much about the plumbing up here, but I'll tell you this, Paul. I went to turn it off, the main, and it did not turn off. My plumbing was 30 years old, never been inspected, never needed one of those old type valves. We couldn't shut it off. I had to eventually get the town to come to the street to
Yep.
turn it off and then replace that valve. So how did we check that?
I mean, that really to try it every once in a while. When a valve, like anything else, doesn't work in 30 years, we do plumbing checkups also, and that's something we check. And the newer valves, we put ball valves in now, which is a lever valve.
Which work a lot
which
longer.
works a lot better. They
Yeah.
don't go bad. But knowing where your main water shut off and make sure it works is big. I can't tell you
Where
how
is
many
it?
customers.
Where is it in on Warwick House? Where is it?
Somewhere in the house.
No.
I have no idea where the main shut off is.
So
there.
there is a point here.
Even I know
Well-
where the main shutoff is. And
Yeah, but
that's
you gotta-
See, Neil, I
shocking.
didn't ask you this time because you were kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, wait
well,
a
you
minute.
kind of took me by surprise on the air
I did.
conditioner.
I know I did.
All right, now here's a stupid question. We have well water. Does that have a shut off?
The well water has well, you can do two. That's a great question.
'Cause I don't
So
know.
with well water, there's 2 ways of shutting it off. Number one, there's going to be a valve at the tank. That's a tank downstairs. That kind of looks like R2D2. Is that the right way to say it?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And also, there's a valve there, but also in your breaker, because well water is run by your electric. In your breaker panel, there's going to be a double breaker that says well.
You
So-
can shut that off, and it won't
Oh.
pump any more water
and
in.
it won't pump any more
Oh,
water.
that's
Well,
good.
that I know where that is.
See,
Right.
Taylor?
So that with well water, that's an important thing. But so many customers have a leak and it's flooding, and they have no idea how to shut their water off.
That's a good point.
So that is a really, really, really good point. Another thing I'm going to tell people, this funny during the summer, I get people who run out of water talking about well water. They're like, we ran out of
We
water.
had that happen once.
Right.
Because Frank says, I hear something running. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And we don't have a basement. We have a crawl space. So I open up the little thing to look down, and I'm not going there ever. And I'm like, I don't hear anything. And then what happened?
Well, then all of a sudden the next day she got back. She goes, I went to
No
go take a
water.
shower. There's no water.
Right. And you had that. I think we talked about that. You had that break in the basement.
Right.
Yep.
What I see a lot of times, the kids are outside playing with the hose, they're having fun, and they don't shut the hose off. Okay, so be careful of your hose. And
Absolutely.
also, a lot of people didn't take the hose off their faucet in the winter. It freezes and breaks, and when it breaks inside.
Right.
So we probably get 30 calls a year where people turn their hose on for the first time and it floods inside.
Oh, really?
boy.
Yeah, so check that also. The first time you run your hose. check
Winterize.
Now-
You have to winterize.
Now, there's
those.
also plumbing faucets you guys sell for outdoors that actually have the shut off inside the house, right? So they tend not to freeze?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the non-freeze ones. But if you leave the hose on, the hose freezes and then the water can't drain out. You pitch them to the outside so the water drains.
Okay.
So if you leave the hose on and it freezes, it doesn't do a thing.
Nice.
So those are really the important things to check. I laugh. I tell people, put a plunger in each bathroom because you have 20 people at your house.
Yeah.
And
There better not be 20 in my house.
Okay, but,
Otherwise, we got some strange people there.
Well, you never know.
You never know,
You
though.
got Father's Day, you got graduation, you got a lot of things coming up
Right,
with a
right.
nice party, and we get calls for clogged bathrooms. You see the the signs all the time in bathrooms. Don't throw paper towels down.
Right.
And a lot of people
And other
might come
signs.
up. A lot of people might come up from New York City where everything goes down here. But here we're on septics. We're all
They're in
that.
the Mayo
So-
Theater too. There
Well,
was
I'm going to say in the
something.
Mayo Theater in Morristown, where Ed's in charge of down there.
Oh, I
Ed,
have-
you must have
wait a
plumbing
minute, I
nightmare
have
stories
one-
down
I have
there.
one-
Oh yeah, Nutcracker 2 years ago, somebody decided to flush a diaper down the toilet.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
God.
It backed up the entire
We-
women's room.
listen,
I have
Oh,
one
my
complaint.
God.
Wait, I have one complaint
All right.
about the bathroom, Ed. Those dispensers, they're too low. You need to put them up higher so that the toilet paper comes out straight instead of all the way down.
Don't you hate that? Every
Well, I think
bathroom is
that's-
like
that's
that.
made
I
for-
hate when that happens.
That's for
man.
disability, American ADA reasons. That has to be there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
certain
So,
heights.
Ed,
So
I
you
could,
should be
I could
ashamed
do
of
a
yourself, Taylor.
whole show of what we pulled out of toilets and septic tanks. A diaper
Oh,
is
share that
nothing.
with us, Paul.
We will. We will. That's not.
And
a
give us
problem.
all the gory
We could do
details.
I wanted to do a show on
and that
poop
show's called
today.
"What's the Poop?"
Yeah, I wanted to do a
What's
show.
the poop?
I wanted to do a show on poop today, and my office manager, I was telling her, she goes, "You can't do that on the air." Of
course you can.
I said, "Of course I can." So she would, Wendy, if you're listening, we're doing it next
No.
time.
Doing
All
poop.
Next time.
We're doing
It'll
poop.
be
All right, I'm
poop
calling
time.
in.
It'll be one poop or two.
All right, so now we got Father's Day coming, right? So
We do.
What better thing to get a father than
A plunger.
a plunger's good, but Michael, like I
agree.
Michael gets to come to my house and see all the new plumbing, right? And I think the best thing to get a father for Father's Day is a new throne, right? I mean, come on,
That's true.
That's right.
And
Listen, tool time, he had in there an easy chair, a television, a remote control.
exactly.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's the
So
only way to go.
so Frank, thinking about getting a new throne for Father's Day, and who doesn't want a new throne? I mean, come on. What do you think the most expensive toilet that Nebrasky Plumbing has put in ever? And I'll give you a little hint. The average toilet's between $200 to $300 installed. Okay, maybe a little more. So what do you think the most expensive toilet we've ever put in? Let's see what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's.
1,500.
Yeah, I'm going to say around that price too. What with heating in it or something, or who
heated
knows what it
seats.
does?
I'll say
Cleans
5,000.
itself?
Get out of here.
What do you think, Michael?
Somewhere in between, about 2,500.
Ed?
The price is right. I'll go at 3,000.
All right. So
Door number 3?
So,
Without going over.
wait a second. So, the price is right here. Neil, you're the winner. But,
Oh,
but
my
you ready
God.
for this? You ready for this? You guys sitting down? It was
As on throne?
Not yet.
$10,000.
Who is the person that put a $10,000
more than
What was it
one.
made out of?
So Kohler's new toilet has a list price of $8,000. Okay, it flushes itself. It has a heated seat. It plays music. Okay, it is a bidet.
No comment.
It is a bidet with both a front bidet and a back bidet. Everything. It's remote control from your phone and
never
or-
leave the bathroom.
and-
Remote
and
control
on-
from your phone.
and
I'm
on your
now
mo-
having a
right.
relationship with the toilet.
Right,
Does
and
it
correct, and
wipe
people
it? Does
do.
it wipe
People who
you
use
too?
it, that they say, I never leave the bathroom, right?
I was-
So Ed, I think you should put a couple in, and then you get some more
Okay.
customers.
I was gonna say you wouldn't-
You can make a package, Neil.
Paul, a front bidet and a back bidet? I mean, are we talking like for women?
We're talking women and men. We're talking
Everything.
both.
That's
So,
right.
And wait,
Washes
we're
your car.
not done yet. It has a blow dryer when
I'm
it's
so
done.
A blow
holding
dryer.
back on something I want to say right now.
I know
Oh
you
my
are,
God,
Taylor.
the jokes
but-
are flowing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all right. So
I could see
all
Taylor
right,
in the
and-
bathroom going,
but-
I don't have to go to the Mayo because I'm listening to Orleans right now. It's playing out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait, and it needs electric. So not only did we have to put the toilet in, we had to get an electrician to run a wire to it.
Of course.
Oh, my
And well, it's a heated seat. It flushes automatically. You don't do a thing. to
Wait a
it.
minute. Does
Isn't
it
that crazy?
clean the toilet
Yes,
after? Oh,
yes.
okay.
It has,
Oh, yeah.
yes. It has a UV.
That alone is worth it.
It's a UV, and at night at 2 a.m. it actually cleans everything and disinfects it.
Oh, jeez.
All for $8,000 plus
That's what a
installation.
bargain.
First of all, somebody who can afford a $10,000 toilet can afford a maid to clean it. Okay, so I'd rather
But-
pay the maid the money.
right.
That's crazy.
But
Thinking about that
technology
front
is.
back
It does
bidet.
it your taxes too. Apparently.
Thanks, right
You know, Neil, if you really think about it, you can call the customer and see if you can come over and try it. I have no issue with
I
that.
have to see this.
All right, not a problem. I'll text you after the show.
field
right?
trip.
Music, the whole thing.
Music, yeah.
It makes your coffee.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
great.
you know what
hope
radio
not.
station I pre-programmed it. You got to pre-program it. You know what radio station I program it there, right?
Of course, WTBQ
Can I
and
take a shot at that?
WGHD.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got to throw the plug in for you. Taylor.
That's very good.
You know, so and
Oh,
that-
so people out in WGHT land, Paul travels.
oh yeah, no, somebody heard me on one of my friends. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So,
And if you
good.
need a $10,000 toilet,
They
Paul's
would-
your man.
Paul's your man.
absolutely.
Right here.
All right, and
Is
listen,
the trend today more for the higher toilets than the lower ones?
So it was funny. My brother Michael's building a house in Alabama, and he asked me. He said, "I didn't buy the higher toilets because his family's young, but 90% of the toilets we do are put in are the higher toilets."
in other words,
Frank.
further off the ground, so you don't have to especially as
up
you
and
get
sit down
older.
easier.
Yeah, I mean, even for anybody else, but as you get older, especially, getting all the way down, then all the way back up again becomes
All
a
the way
chore.
down.
It's a
What are you talking
challenge.
about,
But
3
they're
inches?
they're about what 3 inches higher, maybe, or something like
Yeah,
that.
about 3 inches higher, and no, they work. It makes all the difference in the world, especially
How
for
lazy
people.
are you that you can't sit down?
No,
3
it's a big
inches?
difference.
It's not the laziness. It's we have the aging population, and a great story about that. And I love marketing, and as you guys know, I do a lot of marketing. And originally, they called those. You talked about the American Disabilities Act before. Why you had that? So originally, those toilets were called handicap toilets, and I didn't sell any. Well, somebody at Kohler invented the name Comfort Height.
Ah.
Now,
Smart.
it's really smart.
Smart,
And now
yeah.
the toilets took off. Would you rather buy a Comfort Height toilet from me or a handicap toilet?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. And so now Frank, yes, that's generally what we sell.
Yeah,
we really
it
do.
makes more sense, and I just think it's a more comfortable fit there for everybody because
know,
Only
there's-
if you're short, it doesn't work.
yeah,
Okay, so
that's true.
there's a couple that we're friends with. They're thinking about converting because they're getting on. They're not really old, but they're planning ahead. They want to take their tub out and put one of those in that the door opens so you walk in and out of
Oh,
the
they
tub.
do?
Yeah. Or it's a shower.
I've done a few of them, and they really do work. Hard to put in, expensive. And right now, there's a specialty company that does them because it's real. They're not easy to do. There's a lot of work to do. But
Are they expensive?
Yes, they are. But they do a lot. I have done 3 of them, and it really does make sense for a person in a wheelchair. Somebody needs them. They really do work. They're
Okay.
good.
All right. I know they're listening, so.
All right. So who's the movie person here?
Me.
You're the movie person.
She's the
All
one.
right, so this question goes to Taylor. All right.
Oh, I know what it's about. Elton John.
Elton John. No. Yeah.
Just
you guys-
kidding.
That would have been great.
That would have been funny.
I just saw Rocket
Well, because
Man,
of the
by way.
John,
Ed,
you know,
did you
you're-
see Rocket Man yet?
I
We
don't.
were
but
talking about
we
that.
do
All
have
right.
a.
Love it.
So, Paul,
you
what
know,
is
you
what
got
is?
Rocket
Well, you
Man,
just answered
tribute
my
band
question,
You'll
Frank.
like
I don't
it.
have one.
No, seriously.
Done. All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. What was the first movie? And this was a big deal back then because this was taboo to show a toilet flushing. Actually, show a toilet flushing.
Okay,
In a
that-
movie?
And you heard it.
That's above my trivia
In a movie.
level.
It had to be a.
Okay, so
had to be
it
a
has to-
comedy.
No,
No,
not
it wasn't. It was not a
necessarily.
comedy. It was not a
Really?
comedy.
I'm going to say it was in the 50s.
Very close, but it wasn't. It was actually a thriller.
Really?
Yeah, I'm thinking a Humphrey Bogart movie or something.
No.
no, we
Citizen
have
Kane?
A little later than that?
Are you talking Hitchcock then?
Yeah, you're good. You're getting closer, Ed.
I wanted to say like Thomas Edison shot a film of like a toilet flushing, and people paid a nickel to see it or something like
Oh,
that. you know.
wait a second.
Vertigo?
So Hitchcock? No, I'm thinking the one with Jimmy Stewart.
I'll tell you. You want a
Yeah.
shot at it, Frank?
No, I have no idea.
It was Psycho.
Really?
Oh.
And
Oh.
and
I
it was
remember the
filmed.
scene, yeah,
Yes, you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
the scene,
yeah.
and people actually complained.
Oh, yeah.
It was taboo between that before that to somebody
Like
flush
nobody
the toilet.
went to the bathroom?
Right, like I
No.
want to have a poop show, and they're talking. They wouldn't flush a toilet.
Yeah.
So what they
Wow.
did is
remember
he
that.
right before she got in the shower, was it Janet Lee?
Janet Lee.
Right,
Yeah.
got in the shower. She flushed the toilet. That you heard the noise. It was part of the
Right.
whole
Oh,
thing, and I
that's right.
watched it,
Yeah.
and it was like revolutionary that he filmed the flushing of a toilet. So I
See,
thought
That's
that
a
was
good
a.
I was in
really-
a different
That is
place
pretty
then
wild.
because they were more concerned that she got stabbed to death in the shower
No,
than
no.
she flushed the toilet.
The
isn't
stabbing
that-
was
Just
okay.
saying.
Don't flush the toilet.
All right, so bonus points, Neil. Can we do a bonus?
Sure.
What year did
Yes.
that movie come out?
1960.
Ed got it. I mean,
Wow,
Ed, you're
Ed.
good.
Ed's
You're
giving
good.
me a challenge here
Ed's,
for the
uh,
movies.
That year is noted as the highest year of plumbers attending movies because of the
Wait, no, hold on. All right,
They're like, oh my God, we got to see this. I got to show you. This is what I do for a
Our
living.
business is going to skyrocket.
I love it.
can you let me know if Ed's going to be here next time I come? Can you just give me, just forewarn me, do something, all right?
And
Send an
no
email.
double bidet. It wasn't even a double bidet. Just a
Right.
regular toilet.
I think we should get one for the center. I mean,
I
come
agree.
on. All right, wait.
I have many
you know
bidet
what?
questions.
All
but
right,
I'll
so
save
hold
that
on,
for
Ed. This
another
is
day.
for you. Okay, this is for you. All right, where did the name? Let me think of this question. Okay, where did the name Summer Blockbuster come from, and why? Why did it come out?
I think that was from all those like what Will Smith did, those type of big movies.
I want to say that the caused lines down the street.
So summer
I was thinking like
blockbuster.
Jaws is really kind of that's when
Yeah.
the
Summer
term came
blockbuster
into
really
effect.
happened in the 1930s when
Really?
air conditioning was invented. Because what happened was some of the first people to get air conditioning was the movie theaters.
Oh, look at that.
So in the summer, people would flock to the movies because
Just
they
to
didn't
get
have air
cool.
conditioning to stay cool. And then the movies, the movie companies started releasing their biggest hits in the summer.
Summer blockbuster.
And
To
that's where
correspond, yeah.
And that's part of the reason
Look
summer
at you,
blockbuster
you're
came.
Paul is a
really good.
font of information.
Wow,
He
I
is.
All right,
love
He
it.
is.
It's a font of
Listen,
information.
Exactly what I said, 1975. which
That's
is
it.
1975.
the 1930s of the 70s.
Right, that's right. 50 years earlier.
Revolutionized
Close
the
enough.
plumbing industry.
So right, revelized. So that I thought that was really interesting. As an
I
air
love
That
conditioner.
is pretty
That's
wild.
pretty
You know, and
cool.
another thing too, Paul, what we should mention for folks that have air conditioning, and we're not going to mention names or anything, but Taylor and I went to a party a couple of years ago on a day when it was like a night. Well, you were
was
there too.
there.
All
I
right.
was there.
Paul was there
will
too.
ne-
We're
wait
not
a
going to
minute,
mention.
I just want to preface something. We had 2 firemen there, a retired.
All right, no, well, let me.
Wait,
So I didn't even
who-
say what it's about yet.
we
Let me get there.
walked
Then you could.
outside- hold
Wait a
on.
minute. Let me talk. Let me set it up, and then you can talk. Be
Okay.
patient. Keep your thought.
I can't. I
We
wait.
went
Hold
to
that
this
thought.
event. It was 100 degrees every day. We're kind of warm, and then it was like the weather like this. It was rainy and very muggy and very, So it was an evening thing. And we got there, and they had the air conditioning running, but it was not
No, they didn't.
cooling anything off. And all of a sudden, Taylor looks at me and she goes, I went over to Taylor and I said, Taylor, look, I spilled all my drink on me because my
was
whole front
soaked.
was soaking wet. She goes, you're such a clumsy idiot like that. And I said, no, honestly, I'm just sweating. That's just from
he
sweating.
never
And I never
sweat.
sweat. And what about the
So
firemen?
we had 2 firemen there who were Rotarians with us, and we walked outside because we couldn't stand inside, open the door to hear the speech. And they said, we've been at major fires. Nothing has ever been this hot.
So
I had said to the people, by the way, earlier in the day, like at 10 in the morning, do yourself a favor, turn your air on now super high, freeze the place out because you're going to have 50 or 60 people. And the worst thing you do is make people feel uncomfortable. Did they do that? Absolutely
But even
not.
still, Paul, that shouldn't have been that much of a problem. You should have gone cold air,
They
right?
didn't turn the air on.
Well, there's 2 things going on there. Number one, it was probably Neil's house because he hasn't had his air conditioning service
Service,
yet.
that's part
and
of
that's
it.
how I started the
Plugged
show.
up.
It was
to
not
say
Neil.
when you're having
I thought we were
parties, make
friends.
sure your air conditioning is serviced.
Well, you're picking on
All
poor
right,
Neil.
so well, Neil, I don't.
It was
you know,
not
It
for
should
the-
really be Ed, but I don't know him well enough.
It really was not Neil, by the way.
No, it was not.
All right, I know it wasn't Neil. So that's number one, and number 2 is. Their air conditioning could have not have been serviced earlier. Their filter was clogged and
No,
wasn't
she
operating
didn't
properly.
put it on.
No,
All right,
it was
the other
running. There
thing
was
is
air
we
running.
talked a couple shows ago about what I call the meat locker effect, why air conditioning is oversized. So, as you said, Taylor, when you go into a church or temple, or store, even a restaurant, and you feel cold, even though the thermostat's at 72 because it's oversized, it's sized for the amount of people in there.
Right.
So maybe no matter what they did, that house was not sized for 50 people sweating in that house. So the air conditioning is too small. You hit the nail on the head, turn it on early. But once the door's getting open, everybody's there, probably couldn't overcome that many people. And that's what happens there.
But, and it just was worse and worse because they were cooking in the kitchen, which is open.
And,
Added
the
more
cooking,
to it.
and you got the cooking going on
So
also.
And the
I'm
hot
like,
food
bring
out
it-
on the
why don't
table.
you bring the party outside on the huge deck you have? To me, if you're doing a party, the most important thing is to be considerate of your guests. That's number one to me, and that to me was one
All
of the
right, so
most-
now I know we're getting a little off topic, and I gave you a little rant and rave there.
Thank
but
you.
Paul, so we learned a lot about air conditioning, about plumbing, and all sorts of good things today. Nebrasky Plumbing and Heating. How can people get in touch with you? And of course, anybody within our listening area, give a call because you do free estimates for any repair that's out there.
So the phone number is 800-796-6853.
What's the website?
That's easier, nebraskyplumbing.com.
Go right to Nebrasky Plumbing.
And they will come out and give you estimates, whatever you want to do.
One of the best reputations in the whole county.
And Paul
Just one of
listens.
the
I mean, if you
best.
say I want this type of thing, I don't want to spend this much. They'll say they'll put it together for you. They're going to get in. You're
I'll
going to
sell
do the everything.
$10,000 toilets all day long.
Yeah,
I
you
have
can
no
sell them
issue.
anytime. One for each-
Everybody needs a front and back bidet.
I know.
Absolutely. And
It's
Paul
on
is
my
the one.
bucket list.
Neil, I just saw your text. And did you text an appointment for your $10,000?
I was actually looking at
Or
the-
was that Ed?
I was looking at the text because I thought after Taylor's rant, somebody's going to say to me, "Tell her to stop."
And that always works.
It
right?
always
Tell
works.
her to stop.
Oh, never works.
I just want to know how to properly use a bidet.
All right. Well, but now that I know
Not
you, Ed,
for you,
now that I know you,
Ed.
Ed, I need some good seats.
Come with us. We go all the time to this theater. It is phenomenal.
It is. You've never
it's
been, I
awesome.
guess, to the Morristown Performing Arts Center.
Have you and Eileen go.
I have not. How-
It's 45 minutes from here.
Oh, so that's closer to Bethel.
100%
it's way closer.
And it's indoors.
And
way
no
easier
traffic
getting
getting
theater,
out.
Great restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Neil,
Oh,
Neil
awesome
and Fran have
restaurants.
gone with
And if
us.
the air conditioner's not working, we know to
Yeah.
call. So.
Paul's going to fix it. Paul, the
Road
nice part
trip.
about it is that it is much closer
road
than
trip.
Bethel. There's no traffic when you get out,
100%.
No, I
and
want to know.
it's
I'm
a
taking up you on that
it's a more
invitation.
intimate venue.
Go on to mayoarts.org and sign up for their newsletter. They have and we go to so many concerts there. It's unbelievable. Depending on what kind of music you like, events, they do everything. It's the most eclectic theater you're going to go to.
Wonderful.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
It
I,
is.
And I have it in now for good seats.
Oh,
and
good luck with that.
they recently redid their bathrooms to make them bigger and more accessible over the
No,
last
they
couple of
did
years.
not.
Except there's a
Oh,
problem
they
with
did.
the toilet paper. This is not the right
Yeah.
level or whatever.
I
it
know
is we're
that's what
talking
it
about.
is because I keep going in the last toilet, which I guess is the the comfort one.
Wait, do you
Hey,
know?
you're not
do you
supposed
know
to be in
that
there.
somebody did a study and they say the first stall is the cleanest stall?
Oh, that's why I'm there.
Okay, because less people use it. They always go to the end.
Now,
ones.
I will say the bathrooms.
Now, who
at the-
studies this stuff? I don't know.
Yeah,
Some,
I was just going to say, where do you get all these
some guy with a
factoids?
black light.
Well, I sit there in the bathroom, Neil.
think you
You know, I just sit there in the bathroom and watch.
I will
There's
say the
anybody should be doing
bathrooms
that,
at the
too,
Mayo
Paul.
Theater are immaculate, which is unusual.
But Ed, you remember the old days when you just had the small, they were really small, old.
They were from the 1930s.
Yeah, they added more to the building.
And we
Yeah.
didn't have air conditioning until we did our expansion 12 years ago. So we never had shows in the summer. And you hit a hot day in May.
Oh,
I remember
boy.
we had Bill Cosby once, and
Not a good idea.
And well, this was before
He said once.
everything. But he did. It was like 90 degrees inside
Oh,
the theater.
And you think Bill Cosby's sweating now?
I wonder if he has air conditioning now there, Frank.